Good evening, good evening, good evening. Today is still Friday, April 17th, 2026. Back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I'm about to step out on the town for a little while. Really not going anywhere in particular, just hitting the block, clearing my head, drop the top and ride through the city. Not looking for nothing or nobody, just chilling. And as you can see, as usual, I'm by myself. Once upon a time, it wasn't like that. It would be me and whoever the woman I was with at the time would be riding solo with. Not solo, but and whatever I was riding in, not necessarily this car, but just in general. And I would still prefer that it be like that, but it can't be. Hold on. All right, y'all, let's try this again. I had to move to a whole nother spot because a car full of YNs pulled up on side of me. One of them got the Pooh Shiesty mask on, like the ski mask. Man, the car nice. What year is it? I just parked the car and pulled off. No, seriously. If you look at the background before I came back, I'm in a totally different spot. I wanted to make this video before I go out so to have time to upload before the night over. Some young dudes, they were just like they was admiring the car. I don't trust them. Like, you got a ski mask on, dude. But a lot of times, them youngsters, they wear that kind of stuff. But I ain't taking no chance with no YN. I told y'all I'm paranoid. I keep the heat with me. They looked and saw the heat, then bagged off a little bit, and I pulled off. I don't know what the hell y'all got going on, but not tonight. Not me. I ain't come this far being stupid. So here I am in another spot. Let me start over. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Now, as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by the YNs, looking like they was up to something shady. See, I got my spider senses. I just look like this. I'm a hood dude. I see the play. So here I am. I ain't got time to even sit there with y'all. But as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, again, normally I would be riding and I would have, back in the day, I remember a time where I had a lady friend, my girlfriend, or my ex-wife, or what have you. During a time, I was able to live during a time where men still believed that this woman on side of him loved him. So therefore, he was able to love her without being afraid that she running game. I can remember a time, whether 20, 30, how many years ago it was, I remember a time, because nowadays, we have reached a point in society, especially dating, the dynamic between men and women. Men refuse to fall in love anymore. And the ones that are still gullible like that, they learning the hard way. That's the wrong thing to do nowadays. This is a cold, heartless world. More and more men are waking up to the realization that 99% of these women don't love you. I don't even think they're capable of truly loving a man. I think the I've said it before 1,000 times, the only people that a woman is capable of loving unconditionally is her children. And sometimes they don't even love their own kids. I know that personally. But it's not possible for a woman to love a man unconditionally. If she telling you she love you, if she got feelings for you, if she care for you in any kind of way, it's called something you doing for her. We know that now, right? But once upon a time, I was blessed, because I'm going to call it a blessing. I was blessed to be able to come up during a time when we didn't know that. What, big boy? You call it a blessing to not know that woman don't really love you? Yeah, it was a blessing. Because believe it or not, truly every man want to be able to let his guard down. Every man want to be able to be vulnerable and love that woman with all his heart. He want to be able to do that. Because believe it or not, ladies, and the real men are vouch for me, there's no better feeling in the world for a man to have a woman that he believes he's safe to love her. Because we want to love her. It completes us. It makes us who we are. To be able to love not only our children, but the woman. So therefore, I feel sorry for the men nowadays, or the women, or especially the young men. See, most men my age, we lived through that era, so we had the experience. We were able to know how it feels to love a woman and not be scared to do it, and know how good that felt. Before we found out the truth, put it that way. What they call it, blue pill. Before all this red pill stuff and all the awareness that we have now, especially with this shit, when we really didn't understand, we really didn't know women like we do now. Well, most of us didn't. The ones who really knew women were pimps. The ones we thought were the scum of the earth. They really understood female nature when the rest of us smoles didn't. So, I just want to say I feel sorry. I feel bad because it's a wonderful feeling. So much so that there's still a lot of us right now willing to just take a chance, knowing how dangerous it is to love a woman nowadays and the destruction that it can cause a man when he loves the wrong woman. And 9 times out of 10, loving a woman nowadays, you're loving the wrong one if you're in love with her. Now, you can love her, but being in love, I'm talking about a time when a man used to be able to be in love with a woman when he didn't know that was the wrong thing to do. It was a good fit. Am I lying, fellas? If you my age, older, maybe a little around my age, you could be a little younger. Do you remember the time, like Michael Jackson say, do you remember the time where you didn't know the true nature of a woman? Where we didn't know what we know today about how they really are. And we learning it from hearing them say it. Fella, do y'all remember the time, whether it be your wife, ex-wife, or what have you, or some girlfriend you had 30, 40 years ago, and you loved her deeply, and you had no idea that she didn't feel the same way about you truly? Didn't that feel good? Wasn't that a good feeling? Not just to receive the love, but to be able to love. To give the love and not be worried about, do she really love me? When you really thought she loved you for real, for you. As the saying goes, as I always say, with knowledge comes misery. I know the true nature of a woman now, and it makes me sad. I'm not happy to know this, and the men that are discovering, some of y'all still, and this is not in any way meant to put women down. because it's some men out here, So I get it. This ain't meant to put women down. This is just me reminiscing, and I'm riding around by myself because I know I can't really trust nobody, especially a woman. I can deal with you, be with you, but just me knowing deep down inside, no matter what she say, it ain't. It's show. That takes a lot of hope away from a man. That takes a lot of. It does something to a man to know that. Because that was once one of the greatest motivations a man had, was that baby girl right there. That was something that a man really looked forward to at one time, that kept him going when everything else was falling down around him. The belief that at least I got her, no matter what. When we believe that, now knowing that ain't true, it don't make me happy to know that. And a lot of times I see some dudes nowadays that I look at them and I can see the look in their eyes that they don't know right now. And I see them with the girl. I done even been places where the girl was checking me out while she holding his hand and he ain't paying no attention. But I look at him and how happy he is, not knowing. And I remember those days when I used to be happy like that. And that was one of the best times of my life. Being able to have a woman that you believe love you unconditionally, so therefore that allowed you to love her without restraint. See, I hear women nowadays often say men are disconnected. Men are unavailable emotionally. And y'all don't like that, but I'm trying to explain to you why it's like that. Men have made themselves unavailable. They're not allowing themselves to be vulnerable. Always on guard, always on the lookout. What she want? What she trying to get? How much she trying to pay me for? So that's where men are nowadays, and it's not a good feeling. We don't want to be like that. This is survival mode. We are like that in survival mode because we know, as men, I would rather give you my money than my mind. I'd rather let you have all my money than to let you have my mind. Because I can get the money back, but if I lose my mind, it's over. And there are numerous men that have lost their minds over a woman. It's just that serious for us. When we love a woman, we love her for real. Women do not love a man unconditionally unless it's her son. And most men are waking up or have woken up to that realization. And it saddens the ones that know. It makes me sad. I'm not happy about that. I'm not like, I hate women. I love women. And I want to be able to love a woman unconditionally without knowing or having to know the fact that, man, she there for what she can get, bro. Whether it be some way you make her feel because of something you doing. It ain't always financially, but it's something you doing for her. The way if it ever stops, she gone. See, unconditional love, like for her son ain't got to do nothing. And she gonna love him regardless, unless she some unfit mother like, some mothers I know. But overall, a mom, even if the son bullshit, if the son broke, if the son in prison, a mother would hit the interstate. A mother would put a house up to get him out of jail. A mother would do all kinds of stuff for her son. But for her man, And the few women that would do certain things like that for a man, other women call her stupid. Okay, you don't do all that for no man. but it's okay to do it for her son. So now as a mature, older, grown, experienced man, knowing how it really is, it makes me feel sorry for the young men having to grow up now knowing, because they're getting all of the information at an age when I didn't have it. See, you got guys 19, 20, in their 20s now that know the true nature of how it really is. But see, when I was in my 20s, I was fortunate enough, whether you want to call it that, I was able to live during an era where I know how it feels to be able to love a woman with all my heart and not be scared. Even though I eventually got my heart broke, I was able to experience that. And it's a wonderful feeling. It's a beautiful feeling to a man to see a woman that he truly, and to be able to love her without fear. No walls up. No skepticism. Not knowing she probably cheating with the dude at work. Once upon a time, we didn't think women cheated. How we know now. Once upon a time, I told y'all this, even I thought that men did all the cheating and women was the innocent ones, and we had to apologize to her for being a dog. Not knowing how, we ain't got nothing on them. I'm talking about a time when we didn't know that as men. A time when I didn't know, man, my girl cheat way more than I ever thought about it. A time when I didn't know women cheat like that, and women are conniving like that and scheming. I didn't know. So by me not knowing that, as the saying goes, ignorance is bliss. We didn't have all this red pill stuff in the internet and podcasts with women talking about, I don't love no man, you get him for whatever he got, get his money. And before we had all this knowledge and information, when we really thought it was Romeo and Juliet. Now we living in the era, men can't love women and women ain't never really loved men, like for real. But at least they pretended they did. Now they straight up tell you, we don't love no men. Now I ain't speaking for all women. I'm sure there's a woman somewhere. I just ain't never met now. But I'm sure there's a woman somewhere. And from here on out, I ain't gonna say I'd never get married again. I'm not gonna say I would never love again. But I'm gonna know for goddamn sure she one of them women that I know that I ain't gotta worry about. How am I gonna know it? I don't know. But I'm gonna know it before I ever be serious again. But I did have the pleasure to live during an era when I know what it feels like to be able to love somebody and not be afraid. It's a beautiful feeling that most young men, and I'm gonna say older men, we had the experience. Most of these younger guys will never have it. Cause they coming up knowing already, you can't trust, hey, she probably don't love you for real. She probably be with your homeboy for real. She probably got a work hub and some dude she flirting with at work. She probably got 10 dudes in her inbox every day, sending wood pics and all that type stuff. I didn't grow up during that era. I grew up during an era where you weren't ashamed to be in public with your girl and not be worried about if the 20 dudes in here she done been with. We didn't worry about that back then. Even if we should have, we didn't know. Ignorance is bliss. So we were happy. We were proud to be, this my girl. This my girl. Nowadays, dude be scared to say that. Cause you're not knowing, you might be telling a dude this is your girl, not knowing he done been with her. And then he done, you don't know. When we thought it was just us. To learn the truth, and what they call it, red pill. It don't make me happy. It don't make me happy at all. But I'd rather know the truth than be living a lie. I feel sorry for you young men that'll never know what it feel like to be riding with a woman and not be worried about, is she really yours? Do she really care? Even if she didn't care, you thought she did, and that's all that matters. Now we know, and it's a hurtful feeling. It leads to many nights of sadness and loneliness, because we all want somebody. I was reading the comment section, said, big boy, you want to have one woman, one wife, somebody to come home to? Yeah, just don't believe I can. Don't believe it exists no more. Every man want that, but is it here? Even if it's not, I was able to experience it, even if it wasn't real. I thought it was real, so it was real. And you young guys, you'll never know that. You'll never know what that feel like, to be able to love unguarded. A beautiful feeling. The same way it makes you happy to love your son or your daughter the way I love my son. Once upon a time, you were able to love your woman the same way and not worry about it. Can't do that no more. She will kill you. Have you talking to yourself. Walking down the street broad daylight with a flashlight, looking for your mind, because you done lost it. Get it, got it good. Bye.